I'm Sharon Betters, and you were listening to the Daily Treasure podcast produced by Mark Inc. Ministries. And it's such a privilege to welcome Sherry Bittler as our guest writer for today. Sherry and I have been friends forever. It seems like we've done life together. We've raised our children together. We learned what the meaning of biblical womanhood is together. And Sherry has been an example to me of what biblical encouragement looks like. And I share some of her stories in my book, Treasures of Encouragement, Women Helping Women. And I'm delighted that there is a 25th anniversary edition available. You can go to treasuresoфencouragement.org to learn more about it. But today's devotional is in our Treasures Along the Way series. And today's devotional is called Cousins Camp Part 2. And Sherry Bittler is our guest writer. Today's treasure is from Deuteronomy 7, verse 9. Know therefore that the Lord your God is God, the faithful God, who keeps covenant and steadfast love with those who love him and keep his commandments to 1,000 generations. In this devotional, my dear friend Sherry describes why she does Cousins Camp and offers lots of practical ideas for accomplishing her goals. You know, though you might not be able to schedule several days at a time with your grands, Sherry's ideas are terrific for a day or part of a day. In fact, I'm hoping to incorporate some of her fun activities into special days with our littles this summer. Sometimes when we hear what others are doing, we feel inadequate, less than, or failures. Don't let the enemy lead you down that pathway. Each of us is unique, but God's calling is the same. The way we live out our calling may look different for each of us. And this is from Sherry. As a young mom, it was important to me that our children learn about the God I was growing to know. Volunteering at our church gave me plenty of opportunities to join other parents who shared that passion. Together, we took scripture, added fun activities, and trusted the Lord to impact the hearts of the littles who walked through the doors. The Lord used those times to lead me into formal children's ministry when our children headed off to college. Eventually, I retired from my staff position. Psalm 71:18 says, "So even to old age and gray hairs, O God, do not forsake me, until I proclaim your might to another generation, your power to all those to come." And so now, as a grandmother, my heart is more passionate than ever. With some medical limitations, I need to keep my pace slower and the number of students small. The Lord showed me that planning some intentional, structured time with our grandchildren would fuel my passion to obey these verses and bless us in ways that we could not imagine. Cousins Camp was born. The children needed to be potty trained, able to communicate clearly, and content to be away from mommy. We are together for 48 hours straight, 2 nights and 2 days. The first summer, 8 of our 12 grandchildren qualified. They came with sleeping bags, girls in one room and boys in another. I choose a backdrop theme for each camp. We have used Star Wars, sea creatures, Christmas in July, Olympics, circus, and manners, to name a few. I choose a scriptural theme. We are blessed to be a blessing. We have focused on a specific verse or the one another verses in the Bible, verses about doing our best for God, the 10 Commandments, the importance of prayer, the verses about putting others first, loving and forgiving each other. I develop an agenda. My first Cousins Camp, I planned every minute of their time with me, worried that idle time would lead to problems. I remember that first year I woke up before any of the camper grands and I heard a sound from my computer. It was Skype. My sister was checking in. As soon as the video appeared, she could actually see me sitting in front of the computer, of course. She burst into laughter. It took a second, but I realized the wear and tear of that first day of camp was very obvious to her. Looking at my own picture on the computer, I joined the laughter. As sisters, we are totally aware of the lengths we will go to create memories for our grandchildren. When our first Cousins Camp was history, I allowed the children to share with me what they liked and anything they didn't like. Gratefully, I'm happy to report they loved it all. However, they did ask for more time to just play freely with their cousins. Free time became part of the schedules in the future and gave me a little break as well. Our favorites were minute-to-win-it games, scavenger hunts, obstacle courses, bonfires with marshmallows. One year we did tie-dye shirts. One year we painted donuts on a canvas for our theme, Do Not, N-U-T, Worry. Get it? And used scripture verses about worry. And of course, swimming in our above-ground pool, day swims and the night swims. And thank you, Pop-Pop, for setting up lights. I used quarters as prizes, giving each child a Ziploc bag with their name on it. I bought a roll of tickets at Walmart, and they could earn them for various things and redeem them at my grab basket of inexpensive toys. Oversized Ziploc bags or pocket file folders held crafts or items that needed to head home as reminders of our lesson. My meals were kid-friendly and dessert was first. The year our theme was Star Wars, I had signs that labeled all the foods with relatable titles like Yoda Soda or Vader Veggies and so on. Google ideas or Pinterest ideas, well, I relied on them heavily. I would keep Cousins Camp in mind whenever shopping, often finding things like plastic holding sleeves or crazy straws. Spending a little time at the dollar store might add fun touches to your time together. We usually made popcorn and had plastic containers that looked just like the paper ones you get at the movie theater. Walmart had campfire sticks for s'mores as well. By the way, it is helpful to have a plan B in your pocket if the weather doesn't cooperate, or a video of some rest time is needed. And take lots of pictures. Maybe grandfather can help with that. You might be too preoccupied. I am so incredibly grateful for our grandchildren. The last couple of years, I've had to rely on one of our daughters-in-law to help me manage our events. I know these cousins' camps are a gift from the Lord, and I am so grateful that learning about Him for many of the children is part of their story. I have some grandchildren who aren't churched, and I'm so grateful that they have these times with me and their cousins. The memories made through the years at Cousins Camp are priceless treasures to me, and from the sounds of it, to the cousins as well. It is a privilege. Well, yes, camp is work. It is planning. There is some expense. There are moments of major chaos. There are sometimes conflicts to resolve. And the food is less than healthy at times, but there is also lots of hugging and kissing. Yes, the house needs a thorough cleaning when I am finished. Yes, there is some waste. And oh yes, my body needs time to recuperate. Some games work out better than others. Yes, my husband gets a little overwhelmed. But we are learning to really love each other, understand each other better, and uncover new talents and interests. They know that I will always point them to Jesus, and they know that Pop-Pop and I pray for them all the time. I'm Sharon Betters, and what a pleasure and a privilege it is to know so many of you are listening to this podcast every single day. And you know what, friends? Our family, our Daily Treasure family, is growing by leaps and bounds. We are blown away by how many people are listening to the podcast and accessing the Daily Treasure devotional. So we know that God is using it in a way that perhaps we never really imagined. And we would love for you to share with us how He is using it to encourage you. We also want to encourage you to take a listen to our latest Help and Hope podcast. It's called The Sound of Freedom in Real Life. And this is a conversation that our son Chuck had with Barb Bollinger. Barb is the Director of Development from Path to Freedom, which is a ministry to girls who have been trafficked. You know, that incredible movie that came out this summer called The Sound of Freedom has really opened eyes to a horrific darkness that is permeating our world, a human tragedy of brokenness, of cruelty. We can't even put words to it. We don't even want to think about it, but this movie is making us think about it. And in this conversation, Barb talks about child trafficking and how their ministry, Path to Freedom, is touching the hearts of girls with the promise of safety, and not just the promise, but the reality of safety. Our son Chuck and his wife serve as house parents at Path to Freedom. And as they talk about the child trafficking that's happening in Southwest Florida, and it is one of the worst areas for child trafficking, Path to Freedom is bringing hope to these precious young girls. And friends, I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen the lights come back on in some of their eyes as they have recognized that they truly are in a safe place where they can experience love maybe for the first time. Make sure you listen to this conversation. It might change your life. Go to helpandhopenow.org, where you can click the Help and Hope link and then look for the conversation that Chuck has with Barb called The Sound of Freedom in Real Life.